We decided at last minute to do this show due to something wrong and sinister happening in Jamaica. As you're aware, there's been a spate of young ladies missing, and when found, they are not alive and their bodies are in some serious, gruesome conditions, dead. This show is to look at what we understand is happening and to see if we can shed some light as to the cause and effect, and as well possible solutions.
You know, and it could be childhood experiences. It could be that they just want to be seen as a bad man, or you know, it could be this whole initiation thing into gangs, which happens. You know, this is what you need to do to join our gang. You know, all these kind of things.
I've been hearing
so
that as well. Yeah.
So there's a whole raft of reasons why you will have a situation where, you know, a young child may end up dead.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. We've got Novena-Chanel and Angela Clarke. Now, for Jamaica now, as being British and you guys, do you see yourself somehow playing a role in making a better Jamaica, whether directly or indirectly?
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. My concern is that if we don't, and if we don't see it as a responsibility, you know, similar to the whole passing the baton, I feel that if I don't pass on that legacy to my children,
Yes.
and the children, and my children know their heritage, then you know, in this country there is a risk that our very heritage will die out, because you know, my children, my children's children, you know, once upon a time they would be known as English.
Yes.
They're no longer British, they're actually English, because their parents were born in England, and they are, but everyone forgets about that, and everybody's British.
Yes.
But I don't want ever for my children and their children to forget the legacy of where their forefathers and foremothers came from, because yes, it has been a struggle. It has been a struggle to get to where we are, and I never ever want them to forget their heritage and their roots.
Talking about roots, do you think any part of roots, not the program, but the history, give rise to some of what is going on? They said Jamaicans. There's a video that said Jamaicans were the roughest one, and then send them to Jamaica, call them a warmonger and stuff like that. I mean, that it's that dog-hearted nature, that war. I don't know. Is it a stereotype?
You could say the runaway slaves.
The runaway slaves, yeah.
So I think what we, first and foremost, I don't agree that we've come a long way. We started off as the people who gave the world its maths, its science, its astrology and everything else.
Yeah.
Then we had enslavement, and then now we have this. So we're having to redevelop.
Yes.
But we haven't come a long way. We've been put back so many generations, and so long. But I do think there is, because of what we've experienced, there is I know that you're a psychologist and you look at post-traumatic stress disorder, but there's also post-traumatic slave disorder. Dr. Joy DeGuru speaks a lot about it. I think we are there's genetically, there's lots of, trauma that's gone through all of us. And I think it's playing out now in how we relate in relationships, within family, and in some of the things we're seeing of killing each other. It's just us, it's the psychology, it's the...
I do agree. I do agree, because as you know, if you look at the first generation that came here, right from there you had the separation, because a lot of mothers left their children in Jamaica, and fathers left their children in Jamaica and other Caribbean islands. It wasn't just Jamaica.
Exactly.
You know,
and Africans.
So it continues.
Yes.
Maybe not in the harsh way, but the separation and the breaking of the umbilical cords, figuratively, is continuing.
Yeah, and you know, you know, to merge that, it's not straightforward as people feel. There were some children that did get to come here and join their family, but there are a lot that didn't. You know, and there are a lot that were left out there, and you know, that in itself is a potential trauma, because you don't know who they were left with, or who, you know, you don't know whether they were cared for in the way that they should have been. So there are all types of. So when you're talking about going back to asking me what are the reasons, there are a whole raft of reasons, and some of it could be that, some of it could be this separation of the cord of the family, the detachment, and all of that, because trauma comes in different guises.
And
you know,
outwork
it's not just about 9/11, 7/7 and all of that. Trauma comes in different guises, and people suffer for many, many years. I guarantee that many of the first generation, they have a story, but the thing is they don't tell it. That's why for me, I want to keep it real, especially with our young people. We need to talk to our young people. We need to inform them. We need to encourage them. We need to give them information, because the lack of information is causing them to not to make informed choices about their futures, and we need to make sure that we keep that going.
And the level of what you say, intolerance, people are not that tolerant anymore with rectifying, dealing with wrongs, and no arbitration. Everybody just harsh.
People are, you know, they're angry.
They're
angry. You know, the thing, you look at some of the young people of today, they feel that, you know, they're owed something. You know, their parents came here, worked really hard and whatever, and now that, you know, some of these youngsters are going to universities, and they're coming out and they're not getting jobs. You know, sometimes you want to focus on the kind of negative and, you know, the bad, and I hear about the hard to reach. Well, you know, there are good young people out there too, but they don't get a chance, they don't get a look in, they become angry.
Well, listen, I mean, coming close down to wrap up, but if one is looking at some sort of practical solutions, like for Jamaica, especially regarding, let's look at domestic violence, because that was one which was on the rise, which somehow slipped when other issues came up. Refuge, safe houses, or so. A lady gets beaten up or whatever like that, who she's going to go to?
We know that historically, we only hear about a minute amount of cases that actually happen, because a lot of women suffer in silence. They don't run anywhere. They stay within that household, because for many reasons, if they have children, they can't run and leave the children, and where are they going to take the children to?
All right, I'm gonna put this out to you guys as some sort of informative tool. For a lady in domestic violence, living or suffering in domestic DV situation now, in Jamaica especially, what would the advice be? General.
Well, it would depend on what the support mechanisms were around that individual, because if there are family, if there are friends, some people don't even want to get involved. You know that they don't want to get involved because
the man mad.
It's not that. It's not that. You get yourself involved in it, and then in the next minute, the person, they run back to the person who has caused them. That happens so many times. So people on the outside say, "Well, I'm not going to get involved in them because next minute they're back together," and that causes so much problems. It does. So women stay in the situation until they can't, or until something more sinister happens and they lose their life.
Right. We are finding young girls being sexually abused. Well, they are saying actually it's a cover for the organ harvesting. That's what some are saying. But at the same time, before that, we were having a lot of domestic violence as well, whereby men were killing their partners or their wife when they are planning to leave. So is there a different type of killing or atrocities going on in Jamaica?
Well, Jamaica is a society, is a very violent society. And growing up as a young kid, when I was small, probably 5 years old, they used to have, rumors going around. There's people kidnapping kids, sweeting man, things like that, black armed man. But I don't know, because this upsurge in abducting young women and killing them and raping and killing them. It's getting out of hand, and it just come like that from out of the blue.
I guess I would say somebody who's in Jamaica in that situation is educate yourself. If you access the internet, learn about the cycle of abuse. Google cycle of abuse. So you get to understand what's going on in your relationship. That helps in itself. Plan your exit strategy. As Angela rightly said, generally, statistically, it's probably the 12th, 13th, 14th time they've been hit before they actually leave. It's not the first, second, third time. Don't feel bad. Because sometimes it's the financial, sometimes it's the cultural, it's the children, it's so much reasons why you can't leave. Don't feel guilty for not being able to leave. Just start planning your exit strategy and learn the psychology of what's happening in that situation.
So therefore, the person who is a victim, potential victim, is to do their own research. They have a responsibility as well to check out these things.
I say responsibility, I just say just to understand. Knowledge is power. Understand what's happening in the relationship, the dynamic of what's going on. That in itself can give you a lot of power to know it's not my fault. I'm not saying anything to trigger this person. It's not just men who are the perpetrators. I'm not saying anything to trigger this person. This is their own issues. What I can do to keep myself safe in that situation might be X, Y, Z. And people have arguments in kitchens. Step away from where the knives are. Position yourself by the door. Just little things like where you position yourself, how you fall. Not that it's simple as that, but even how you fall. Just certain things to be mindful of.
There are issues about the perpetrators as well. Because whilst I agree with what you said, from a solution perspective, we have to deal with the perpetrators. We have to do something about, because you know running away from them or getting away from them in itself is one thing, but we need to deal with them because they'll only go out and do it to somebody else. And is that right?
You're transferring it somewhere else, and they transfer that anger somewhere else as well.
So it's almost as you can kind of deal with the symptoms, but you've got to deal with the cause. You've got to deal with you've got to try and deal with the whole thing. So I think that it definitely in places like Jamaica, because here people have to go anger management and all that kind of stuff, and they have the protection of the police and all of that, victim support and all. In Jamaica it is not like that. There is not the infrastructure in the same way. Definitely not. But I feel that there needs to be something for those angry men who feel that the only way that they can express themselves is to batter their wife or their partner or girlfriend. There has to be something for the male, for the female who are angry.
And finally, for grooming, for some of the signals that parents can look at. Children may not pick it up, as you say, like the feeling on the back of their head, and they just think it's nice. But for parents, Novena, what are some of the key signs that parents should look at? Because one of the things that children always say, like when they're much older, I was trying to tell them, but they didn't listen to me. I was trying to tell them. What are some of the signs or things that parents need to be aware of?
What I would say is I'm a new parent, and at 8.5 months old, I'm already teaching my son his body is his own. So when your child doesn't want to hug somebody, don't say, "I'll just go and hug them," or "just go and visit this person." Go teach them, let them know what a boundary is. If a child says they don't want to go somewhere, listen. It might be inconvenient for you. Listen to them. Don't keep responding to them with anger. So sometimes children will start to play up because they're trying to show you something. But if your response is always cussing them or shouting at them, that's in itself. If it's like having extra money than usual, or more sweets than usual, or they keep talking about a particular person a lot more than anybody else, find out who that person is.
Yes. And
I would say that children, I think parents primarily need to have a relationship with their child. They need to have a relationship so that, because we are so busy, busy with, working, whatever, that our children are left to their own devices. That internet will become their friend. The children on the corners will become their friends. We need to know what our children are doing. We need to do things like police the internet, police what they're looking at, put restrictions on it, because you know that you will give your child, put your child to bed at 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock in the morning, they're still talking. It is the responsibility of us to make sure that we safeguard our children, and safeguarding it means actually taking interest in what your children are doing and talking to them, keeping it real with them and telling them what the potential pitfalls are.
Well, ladies, There's so much we could talk about, and this is just a start. I just felt that I needed to jump in with this big debate and to start to look at solutions and to give back home somehow, even though we are thousands of miles away in the UK, but it's a reality. The government can only act, or the police can only act after the fact, after something has happened. What about the community looking after the children and looking after the person?
It have to be a get-together thing. It have to be a countrywide thing, where everybody, the police have to give the community the opportunity to trust them.
Yes.
Right? And once a community can trust the police, then the police, we get more information from the community.
Yes, yes.
First and foremost, right? The police and the community have to work together. The government have to give the police the opportunity to go into the community and investigate
what's going on.
Even when something not happen, the police can go into any community. There shouldn't be a community in Jamaica that police can't go into.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to just say that this is an issue which everyone needs to be a part of, and we all have to be a part of the solution as well. We all form a part of the answer. And today, as you can listen to Novena-Chanel and Angela Clarke, we're starting the process of communication. We're starting the process of understanding. But one thing for sure, which I want to make clear, is for Jamaica to know that we're here, we're standing with you at this time, and it's not only restricted to Jamaica, it's worldwide. But for now, as Jamaicans in the diaspora, we are with you at this time. And finally, one of the things that the police said in Jamaica, especially for young girls who are actually going around, they gave out this sort of advisory. It's saying, practice the body system. This is one of the most important rules. Avoid being abducted, said the senior cop. If you must travel alone, follow these safety rules. Always inform others of your whereabouts. Inform a trusted friend, relative, or colleague. Give information about where you are going, who you intend to meet with, and when you expect to return. Keep a low profile. There are many ways to avoid highlighting your attractiveness to an abductor by downplaying on your financial status, dressing modestly, not wearing expensive jewelry, and not openly carrying expensive electronics. Watch your alcoholic intake. The effects of alcohol can impair your judgment and make you less alert to your surroundings. Avoid accepting drinks from persons you are not familiar with. If you go to a party, never leave your drink unattended, even in the company of persons you know and trust. Carry a mobile phone. You can use it to text the license plate information of the vehicle in which you're traveling to, a trusted person. Remember to download the Ministry of National Security Stay Alert application form, the Google Play Store. Avoid illegal public transportation. And that is the one without the red signs, red license plate. Especially women traveling alone, use an official taxi service or a reputable driver. If possible, do not take a taxi with all male passengers, especially in areas that you're not familiar with. Before entering a taxi or any other vehicle, take a picture of the car to include any words or images, registration plate, and send it via text or other social media to a relative or a trusted friend. It is best to let the driver of a taxi or car know that you are sending the information. It could serve as a deterrent. However, you could possibly take a discreet picture as well of the driver and send it out as well. Those are just a few of what the government has set out. There's much more, but that's what I leave for you for now. Novena-Chanel, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Angela Clarke, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Kindly visit our website at SYLBOURNE.com. Thank you to our viewers for joining us, and remember, share and like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, SYLBOURNE TV, as well as other social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. Thank you. Hi, thanks for watching our video. If you like what you see, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and share and like, And don't forget to comment, but first subscribe.